Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, November 27th, and I am your morning witch. And today is my oldest daughter's birthday. So happy birthday, Rosalind. I love you. But it's also Witchy Wordy Wednesday, and there's a feasting holiday tomorrow. And you know how we witches love to feast. And you know what I was thinking? Like, everybody's going to have a first feast that they're in charge of, right? But maybe we don't know all the words in the recipe books. So we're going to cover some of those. Baste, B-A-S-T-E, and that is to put the liquid, usually in the sense of a roast, and the drippings of the meat that you're roasting, but putting liquid repeatedly throughout the cooking process on what it is that you're cooking so that it doesn't dry out. In the poultry world, we usually use a baster where you suck it up and just drop it down on that bird because it has to cook a really long time and you don't want her to dry out. Shingle. Have you ever been making something and it says you have to shingle the butter in? So what that means is you've got to use really cold butter cut into little pieces, and you're going to use your fingers to squeeze it into your flour. That's what it means to shingle. A lot of pie crust recipes say that you need to shingle your butter in, as well as scone recipes. So that is what shingle means. So have you ever been cooking meat and it said you had to sear it or sear the outside? What that means is in a very hot pan, you put your meat on every single side, right? You start with one side, you put it down in a hot pan for a short period of time because you're cooking the outside to lock the juices in, but you don't want it there long enough to cook the inside. Otherwise, it's going to dry out in whatever it is you're making. Blanch. Have you ever seen that you have to blanch your vegetables? So blanching is to put your vegetables in boiling water for a very short amount of time. So you're kind of cooking them, but not all the way cooking them like what you would normally do when you're boiling vegetables, right? So you boil them for a very short time and then you put them in an ice bath to stop the cooking process when you need it to stop. This is for like a lot of casseroles and things like that call for vegetables to be blanched. And my favorite, because it has an X in it, roux. Pretty sure that's roux, R-O-U-X. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell roux. But anyway, the roux is a base of any gravy or creamy sauce. So basically what a roux is when you take the main liquid for your sauce. We're going to use gravy as an example because that is what you usually use a roux for. So you take the drippings, not the grease, but the liquid drippings from whatever it is you've cooked, whether it's a poultry roast or a pork roast or a beef roast, whatever it is you're making gravy for. You separate the oil from the just like the drippings. You know what I mean? Like, please tell me you understand, because the juices, but minus the vast amount of grease that they're mixed with. And there's special little things, like you can get a special kind of cup that separates them, or I'm fairly frugal, so I've always just spooned the grease off the top very gently until I'm left with my drippings. But you use a small portion of your drippings and you mix it with flour and you make your roux that way. And then when the rest of it's hot in your pan because you're making gravy, you add some of your hot liquid to your roux. You do not put your roux in your hot liquid. If the instructions don't tell you this, it's very important to know. You put the hot liquid a little bit at a time into your roux to get your roux the right temperature for your gravy. Because otherwise, if you put that raw roux into the gravy at the cold roux temperature and the hot liquid of what you've got in the pot temperature, it's just going to become like this ball of dough or something. So a roux is your drippings and flour mixed together, and then to incorporate the roux into your gravy, you have to add the drippings into the roux. So you want your roux in something large enough that you can add hot liquid to it to get it up to temperature, so that once it's warm enough, you can then pour the mixture you've done in here into your pot. If you guys want me to show you how to make gravy one day, I would love to. I love making gravy, even if I can't eat meat gravy anymore, because I'm making myself vegetable gravy. I've got vegetable stock going right now. And stock, just so you know, is whether you're taking bones from an animal, the shells from shellfish, or in my case, just old vegetables that I'm not going to eat, so I've been putting them in the freezer so I could make this stock. You just boil them or simmer them, somewhere in between a boil and a simmer, honestly. It's like medium, low heat for a really long time. You're going to re-add water, but it's just basically getting all that good stuff out of your vegetables. My daughter's also making a ham stock right now with some ham hocks we have left over. So, you know, you can use, whether it's vegetables or ham, you're just extracting all that goodness that's left in those things. And then you're going to strain the solid matter out, and you've got stock to make gravy or soups with. Happy Wednesday. Happy holidays.